All right, what is going on? Novak Djokovic crashes out of the US Open to Alexei Popyrin, who played an incredible match. He just won the Masters 1000 in Montreal, and now he's just beaten Novak Djokovic at the US Open in the third round. The first majorless year for Novak Djokovic since 2017. And in the course of like 24 hours here, we've lost Alcaraz and Djokovic out of the bottom half of the men's draw. So we're going to talk about what this loss means for Djokovic's form and career going forward. And we're also going to talk about how wide open this draw is now on the men's side for someone to make a massive splash in their career. That's all. This is The Slice presented by Betway. Let's get into it. Oh my goodness. What a match that was. Not from Djokovic. He clearly didn't have his best. One of the worst serving performances he says he's ever had. But Alexei Popyrin, a lot of players would have still lost to Djokovic because Djokovic's B or C or D game is still higher than most of the tour. But Alexei Popyrin played with the confidence of someone who just won a Masters 1000 and absolutely stepped up in the biggest moments. Won the second set, lost the third set, came back, won the fourth set, didn't serve it out the first time, served it out the second time. Big time tennis from Alexei, and you just got to be happy for the kid because he seems like a really nice guy. But if you're a Djokovic fan, you got to be sick because the man just did not have it this tournament, as he said in the press afterwards. And yeah, he'll be scratching his head a little bit. But I guess the nice thing to sleep on is if you're Djokovic or a fan of his, you got 24 majors. You got the most weeks at number one of all time. You got the Olympic gold. You're good. But let's break down this match. But before we do that, thank you for being here. If you're new here and you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? This is The Slice. This is where you get analysis, interviews with pro players, and general fan hype around tennis. So thanks for being here. Thanks for subscribing and helping us get to 20,000 subscribers. And The Slice is presented by Betway. They are our presenting sponsor during this US Open swing. If you're going to bet with them, bet the responsible way and bet with Betway because it's a great platform. I've been using it. I've been hitting the bets. I didn't actually look one up before the video tonight because I hopped on here right after the match that ended. But my picks have not been so good anyways recently. But if you're going to make any picks going forward, I don't think the odds makers are really going to know what's going to happen here for the rest of the tournament. So if you're going to bet, use Betway. Okay. What happened here? Let's go through it. Now, I came into this match after Alexei had won the first set, and he was up a break in the second. And from what anyone who's watched Djokovic throughout his career has seen, you're seeing tonight a more sluggish version of Djokovic, who will push shots long when he normally wouldn't. He didn't have the same tightness around just the general part of his game. And clearly the serving today was his main issue because he hit an incredible amount of double faults. 14 double faults, 16 aces, only 58% first serves in, which is actually the same as Popyrin, but Popyrin won 74% of his first serve, where Djokovic only won 71% of his. So very weird match from Djokovic. Didn't have the energy, and that's essentially what he said in press afterwards. He said it's one of the worst matches he's played. He just, and he talked about really this whole tournament. He didn't have the energy or he didn't feel good coming into here, even though he took a big break, as much of a break as he could have taken off after the Olympics. And I mean, despite him being arguably the greatest of all time and being able to adjust between taking time off, picking tournaments better than most players, we've seen every player essentially that's come from the Olympics to the hard courts in North America struggle. Djokovic now is no exception. Alcaraz is out here. He lost early. He lost early in Cincinnati. Every other player you mentioned that played well at the Olympics, the three medalists in the singles at the Olympics and the men's are all out of this tournament. Djokovic now, Alcaraz, and Musetti. So it's real. These balls are different than they have been in years past, and the court is just obviously different than clay. And even though he's had a long time here, Djokovic just, I don't know if the conditions were the main thing tonight, but he just said he didn't feel good coming into this tournament. And he said, and I believe I quote, getting to the third round was a success for him based on the way that he felt his game was showing up. So kind of shocking words to hear from Djokovic. But you had the question in your head of what's he going to be playing for after winning that Olympic gold? 25, 26, 27. Yeah, those are all great milestones, but it really feels like he completed his career at the Olympics, and he didn't have that same fire in him against the Popyrin again, who is playing very good tonight. Djokovic, I can repeat, he would have beat most other players. He wasn't going away. He didn't give up. Sometimes we've seen him kind of let the ends of matches go. He broke Alexei to get one of the breaks back in the fourth set when Alexei was serving for it. Then he held, and then Alexei just played good to hold that next time and serve it out. But Djokovic would have happily been there. And if he had broken him again and gotten that set, you never know. We could be sitting here talking about how amazing Djokovic is at another comeback from 2-0 down. But that's not the case because Alexei Popyrin won Montreal, and he's come from, I believe, around 70 in the rankings now to beating Djokovic, making the fourth round of the U.S. Open, which I believe is his first time making a fourth round at a major, and it's just absolutely incredible. I'm just going to go quickly here to the live rankings on the ATP Tour, and Alexei Popyrin is now up to 23 in the world, which is pretty incredible from being over 70, like you saw. And Djokovic is down to fourth in the world below Alcaraz, who's also below Zverev at this point. So things are shaking up here on the men's side of the tour and of the draw. I think if you had to characterize this performance from Djokovic, obviously the serve lets him down. In general, at the age he's at, I never forget the actual age he's at. Remind me in the comments, shame me for forgetting. He's 37 still. In 2024, he has not moved like he has in the past. He hasn't won matches because he's more physically dominant than the other players. The way he plays tennis gets him there when he's gotten there this year. His serve was incredible in the Olympics. That's one of the things that got him over the line. But it wasn't incredible today. It was pretty bad today. And you're just not going to have success over the long haul against guys like Alexei Popyrin, who are playing the best tennis of their career, playing massive, and you're not able to move with Alexei. When Alexei got looks on his forehand tonight, it really felt like he was dictating play. He would go cross court, open it up. He would go down the line big, and it was Djokovic going in the defense, and then he didn't have what it takes. You can't defend all night long against a guy like Popyrin hitting it the way he's hitting it. One thing that was crazy to see about Popyrin is the way that he was retrieving drop shots or any like drop volleys from Djokovic, especially at the end part of the match. There was a bunch of times where Djokovic played good balls short, and Alexei got to it and passed him, or just did hit these cross-court passing shots. I think because Alexei's grip is so Western, it looks like he's like late to hitting the ball, and it looks like he's going to go down the line. You saw Djokovic kind of leaning down the line on a lot of these passing shots from the baseline where Alexei was. But you just go up the outside and the back of the ball and just go cross court. And you really saw Djokovic not being able to predict which way he's going, which is something you've seen him do over and over and over. He's so good at it. So that predicting, you saw Federer do that. They'd be able to like predict where guys are going to hit it. He wasn't able to do that. So Alexei was passing him from the back, and he was also retrieving these drop shots and drop volleys and doing amazing work with them. There's a couple times where Djokovic let the ball go and then it landed in. Just pretty crazy things where it felt like Alexei did very, very well to win that fourth set after it was tight, lost this third set. Djokovic played better tennis. Alexei got a bit tighter. He was able to come out and play better tennis, do these little things well, and then play big serving, big hitting tennis from the baseline better than Djokovic. Alexei Popyrin had Xavier Malisse and Leighton Hewitt in his box, both coaching him, both pumping him up, helping him get over the line. So that was pretty crazy to see. And Alexei Popyrin, he really feels like now, I think he's just going to be a consistent top 20 figure going forward. And his game, obviously, he's proving right now. He literally won Montreal, and now he just beat Djokovic at the U.S. Open. He's proving that he deserves to be at the top of the game. So that's absolutely crazy. So yeah, like I said, in 24 hours here, we've had Carlos Alcaraz go out to Bodog van der Zandschulp, and Alexei Popyrin beat Novak Djokovic. So where are we at? Where are we at with the draw? I'll talk about it a little bit further here. We'll look at it, but just thinking about it, Zverev's on the bottom half of the draw. So now he's got the pressure as the highest seeded player on the bottom half of the draw, and no Djokovic. He's got a, in his mind, a clear path to the final. We've been there before. And then Sinner and Medvedev are in the same quarter on the top half. So they're going to play each other in the quarterfinals, which is crazy. And, I was saying on Twitter, if you don't follow me, you should. Make no mistake about it. This is big news. Alcaraz and Djokovic going out of the draw is massive because they've won 8 of the last 9 majors. I think I never really realized that number. It's clearly been, obviously Sinner is the number 1 right now, but it's for the last 2 years, it's clearly been Alcaraz and Djokovic at the top of the game. And they're both out of this tournament, losing while both being healthy. So Sinner's now the number 1. He's still the number 1 player. He's still the number 1 seed, but he's the guy to beat now in this tournament, and that's pressure on him. He's never been there at a major before where he's the guy to beat. I don't believe. Like this, at least, for sure. And so that's pressure. How's he going to handle that? Medvedev's already won the U.S. Open. So can he play free? Can he win after having a bad Montreal and Cincinnati? Okay, so those guys are both on the top half. Now we have the bottom half with Zverev and a bunch of other guys who would love to make a mark. Is this the year that an American's going to win the U.S. Open? Is this the year that something crazy is going to happen? Somebody other than Alcaraz or Djokovic will win this major. And if it's not Sinner, it's a big change up in the path and the kind of the style of the ATP Tour and how we thought it was going. So let's look at the results from today, and then let's get into what the draw looks like, because that's super interesting. Okay, so yes, let's look at this. Let's put away Djokovic, Alcaraz, because really Djokovic didn't have it. Popyrin had it, and in 3 hours and 19 minutes, that's what happens. Okay, Coco Gauff survived Elina Svitolina today, 3-6, 6-6, 6-3, 6-3 in 2 hours. Apparently, I didn't see that one, but apparently it was looking pretty painful for Coco Gauff. It doesn't feel like she is in this tournament for the long run. I don't know about you, but she's got to figure it out. I will watch her next match if I can and try to see a bit more of what's going on with her game. But Frances Tiafoe gets the win over Ben Shelton, which has got to feel really, really good for Frances Tiafoe. I mean, look at these stats. 23 aces for Ben, 5 aces for Frances. 66% first serve in for Ben, but he won less percentage. He only won 71%. So Frances obviously returned great, but it's a 5-set match. It's big time playing. 63 winners for Ben to 58 on forced errors. But who's this? Frances Tiafoe just staying at home. 44 winners to 27 on forced errors. Clean tennis. That's clean tennis. And he wins 4-6, 7-5, 6-7, 6-4, 6-3 in 4 hours. What a win for Tiafoe. Continues the comeback of his basically career right now. Definitely of this year. So that's a huge win for Tiafoe. He's in the 4th round. I believe he'll play Popyrin, but we'll check on that. Popyrin beats Djokovic, continues the dream run, fulfills his destiny. I don't know what else you want to say about that, but that is just massive for him. Badosa beats Rus. Navarro beats Kostyuk. Fritz takes care of Comensana. Mertens beats Keys. 14th seed out to the 33rd seed. 33rd seed. Am I going crazy? I thought there was only 32 seeds. Am I going nuts? 34 seeds, maybe. I'm losing it. Qinwen Zheng beats Niemeyer 6-2, 6-1 easily. Azarenka goes out 20th seed to Wang. Rublev takes care of Lehechka in 3. Casper Ruud takes care of Shang in 5, winning 6-7, 3-6, then 6 bagel, 6-3, 6 breadstick. So the Ruud master, the ghost, isn't going away yet. Maybe he's saying, hey, if I stick around here, I don't have to play Alcaraz or Djokovic. And that's pretty crazy. Vekic beats Stearns. Dimitrov, keep an eye on Dimitrov. He destroys Greek Spur 6-3, 6-3, 6-1 in an hour and 39 minutes. He's been destroying people. Grigor Dimitrov has been destroying people, and he's on the bottom half of the draw. Is this the time that Grigor Dimitrov gets his major? It's hard to think that his body is going to hold up, unfortunately. I hate to say that, but it's probably true. Musetti loses to Nakashima. Now, on best bets of the day yesterday for Betway, I said that there was some value in Musetti, but apparently the odds makers were right. Nakashima gets another great win for him into the round of 4, or into round 4. Nakashima, another American, playing amazing, and that's just a great win for him. Amazing tennis. Okay, that is that's the scores, the completed matches from today. Let's look at the draw. Now it's starting to get really freaking interesting. We'll go down to the 4th round here on the bottom half. Now you got Popyrin and Tiafoe on the bottom. And in that Djokovic quarter, he's no longer there. You got Rublev versus Dimitrov. That's obviously a huge match. Those guys both want it, and now the opportunity lies ahead of them. The bottom half of the draw is essentially who's going to handle the opportunity that they have been presented with better. Very interesting. What am I missing here? Where is Zverev? It's in progress, though, on Louis Armstrong, obviously. And Etcheverry, I've done this video now before Zverev's even finished. Etcheverry's taken the first set against him. So maybe Zverev watched some of the match and saw that Djokovic lost and he's feeling tight now. I don't know. But Zverev is, in order to get through, he's got to beat Etcheverry, and then he'll play Nakashima. And then Fritz is taking care of business, and he will play Ruud, who is also taking care of business. So the opportunity, one of these guys will be a semi or a finalist in. Yeah, that is crazy. One of these guys will be a finalist of the U.S. Open. Casper Ruud, Taylor Fritz, Nakashima, Zverev, Rublev, Dimitrov, Tiafoe, Popyrin. That's huge. That is a big difference from what we've seen in the last 2 years of majors. Obviously, tomorrow we've got Sinner versus O'Connell. We've got Diallo versus Tommy Paul. That's a great matchup. Gabriel Diallo, friend of the show. We talked about him. Tommy Paul. That's a big match. Borges versus Mencic. Kaboli versus Medvedev. Van de Zandschulp versus Draper. Goffin, love to see it, versus Machak. De Minaur versus Evans. And Arnaldi versus Thompson. So, yeah, it's the land of opportunity now on the men's side, and it is absolutely crazy. Let's go look at the women's singles draw. Now, tomorrow we've got Swiatek versus Pavlyuchenkova, Kruger versus Samsonova, Arani versus Schneider, Buzes Manero versus Pegula, Ponche versus Wozniacki, Haddad Maia versus Kalinskaya, Ukova versus Potapova, Putintseva versus Paolini. The 4th round, Paula Badosa is through to play Wang. Paula Badosa picking up for Tsitsipas, where Tsitsipas can't do it right now. Emma Navarro through to play Coco Gauff. Battle of the Americans. Both Americans take out both Ukrainians. That's pretty crazy. Just going to leave that there. Zhang through to play Vekic. Vekic continues to have a crazy, amazing year. Can't believe she's still ranked only 24. Keys blunders, loses to Mertens. And Sabalenka right now down a set to Alexandrova. Sabalenka in the wings while waiting for them was getting pretty pumped up about the celebrations of Alexei Popyrin. So we'll see what happens there. Sabalenka, my favorite to win the tournament for the women, is in trouble. But right now, so Zverev and Sabalenka are in trouble. But that's a view of the draw after Djokovic and Alcaraz go mainly on the men's side. That's the huge news. That's super shocking. Djokovic throws in a lemon, and Alexei Popyrin is not the guy you can do that against right now. So let me know your thoughts below. I'm sure you will. That is the slice on the tour and the state of the U.S. Open right now. Stay tuned for more coverage coming at you from tomorrow, and I'll let you know how I do in my tournament, which I'm playing in the quarterfinals tomorrow. Pray I don't get injured. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next time here on The Slice.